Welcome to another deep dive, everybody. This time, we're going to explore Unarius and something called the infinite concept of cosmic creation.
Ooh, that sounds pretty heady.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Basically, this lesson lays out Unarius's perspective on human evolution. And get this, it blends science and spirituality in some really unexpected ways.
I'm intrigued already. Science and spirituality, that's an interesting combo.
Right. So get ready for some mind-bending concepts. We're talking energy, consciousness, even healing. Plus, we'll uncover some surprising connections to history and get a fresh perspective on what the future might hold.
Sounds like a wild ride.
Oh, it is. And lucky for us, I have an expert with me who's incredible at breaking down complex spiritual ideas and making them accessible.
Well, I try. I'm excited to dive in.
So let's jump right in. This lesson starts by painting a picture of the world in a state of major change, like a metamorphosis.
Yeah. And it really captures a lot of the anxieties we're seeing right now, especially here in America. There's all this fear and confusion, all these scientific advancements and societal shifts happening at a dizzying pace.
Right. And it can feel like everything's spinning out of control. But the lesson puts a lot of emphasis on America's role in all of this.
It does. It suggests that America could actually lead the way, like guide humanity towards a future where spiritual consciousness is a part of everyday life.
That's a really interesting idea. What do you think about that? America as a spiritual leader.
It's definitely thought-provoking. I mean, the lesson then goes on to say that none of the traditional solutions are going to cut it.
So like what? Science, religion, politics? None of those.
Nope. They're not enough, according to this lesson. And get this, it even says that even if figures like, say, Jesus or Buddha were to come back today,
Whoa, really?
yeah, even they wouldn't be able to create the change we need.
That's a bold statement. Why not?
Because humanity just isn't ready, they say. We're too caught up in ego, materialism, all that. Too divided. And this is where Unarius comes in.
Okay, so let's talk about Unarius. What exactly is it, according to this lesson?
Think of it as a bridge between science and spirituality. It's presented as this network of advanced spiritual beings, some of whom have lived on Earth in the past.
Oh, wow.
And they're working to guide humanity to a new understanding of, well, life itself, the universe, our place in it, the whole shebang.
Okay, but how do they go about bridging that gap? Science and spirituality seem like totally separate things.
Well, Unarius tries to explain things like psychic abilities, reincarnation, and the nature of energy in a way that combines scientific principles with spiritual insights. They're trying to find a common language, I guess you could say.
So what are some of those core concepts they use to do that?
Well, for starters, they dive deep into the power of energy and consciousness, especially when it comes to healing.
Healing, like physical healing.
Yes, that's a big part of it. They actually use a pretty interesting analogy. They compare a human being to a television set.
A TV. Okay, I'm listening.
So imagine the infinite is the transmitter,
Right.
and our physical bodies are like the screens. They reflect the patterns of our inner psychic selves.
Okay, I think I'm following. So what does that have to do with healing?
Well, according to Unarius, by understanding these energy dynamics within us and connecting with our higher selves, we can overcome limitations and achieve healing.
Even from things that doctors might consider incurable.
That's what the lesson suggests. The idea is that all disease, whether physical or mental, stems from some sort of imbalance in our psychic energy. And by addressing that imbalance at its root, we can heal ourselves.
That's fascinating. What else does this lesson explore?
Well, next they introduce this concept called the Akashic Records. Imagine a cosmic library containing the history of every soul's experiences.
Whoa, across all their lifetime.
Exactly.
That's pretty wild. So what's the significance of that? Why are these Akashic records so important, according to Unarius?
They teach that accessing these records can reveal the root causes of our present-day challenges. So we can learn from our past mistakes, break free from negative patterns and all that. It's all about growth.
So it's like having access to a cosmic therapist.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in the lesson about how humanity can evolve?
Yes. The lesson introduces the concept of Shambhala. It's described as this higher dimensional realm where super advanced spiritual beings reside. And these beings are guiding humanity's evolution, they say.
Wow. Okay, so how does Shambhala fit into this whole infinite concept of cosmic creation?
Well, it's described as the source of the infinite concept itself, like the origin of all the knowledge and wisdom that will one day lead humanity into a new age of spiritual awareness.
Okay, now that is mind-blowing. So we've got a world in a state of major change, a mysterious group of spiritual beings guiding us, and a cosmic library holding the secrets of our souls. This is already a lot to unpack, but I have a feeling we're just scratching the surface.
You got that right. There's so much more to explore in this lesson. Before we move on from those Akashic records, I just want to, I think it's important to understand how Unarius views them. It's
Yeah.
not just about like dwelling on the past or anything like that. They believe that understanding our past lives can really give us clarity in the present, help us navigate challenges, and help us really reach our full potential.
It's like each lifetime is a chapter in our soul's story. And by understanding those past chapters, we can write a better story now in the present, right?
Exactly. It's a really cool way to look at it. And they also introduce this idea of psychic liberation. It suggests that by understanding those energy dynamics within us and connecting to our higher selves, we can like break free from limitations.
Could you give an example? What kind of limitations are we talking about here?
Well, Unarius teaches that a lot of our limiting beliefs, fears, negative patterns, all that stuff, they often stem from like past life experiences.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So by becoming aware of those patterns and understanding where they come from, we can start to release them and create a more fulfilling life. It's like breaking free from these invisible chains that have been holding us back?
So it's about empowering ourselves to become the best versions of ourselves, free from all that baggage from the past.
Precisely. Unarius believes that we all have incredible potential within us. And by tapping into that potential, we can achieve extraordinary things.
It's like they're saying, hey, you are capable of so much more than you realize.
Exactly. Now remember, Unarius is all about combining those scientific principles with spiritual insights.
Right.
They're not asking us to just have blind faith or anything like that. They're offering a framework that tries to explain the mechanics of these phenomena.
It's really fascinating how they bring together those two worlds, science and spirituality.
It is, and they use that analogy of the television set, remember?
Yeah, the TV.
To illustrate how our physical bodies are like screens reflecting the patterns of our inner energy and consciousness, with the infinite serving as the transmitter.
Okay, that's a really vivid image.
Yeah.
So our inner world is projected outward onto the screen of our physical reality.
That's the idea. And by understanding this, we can start to see how our thoughts and emotions literally shape our experiences.
So what does the lesson say about the connection between science and spirituality then?
Well, it actually critiques both traditional science and conventional religion.
How so?
It suggests that science often limits itself to the material world, while religion can become too rigid in its dogma.
Okay.
Unarius is looking for that middle ground, integrating the empirical observations of science with the insights of spiritual traditions.
So it's like they're saying, look, both science and spirituality have their limitations. We need a new paradigm that embraces the wisdom of both.
Absolutely. They're challenging us to expand our thinking and to consider possibilities that might lie beyond our current understanding, to be open to new ideas and explore uncharted territories of consciousness.
That's a powerful message, especially in a world that can often feel very divided.
It is. And then there's this concept they call the disease of
The
over-civilization.
disease of, what was it?
Over-civilization.
Okay.
It suggests that modern life, with all its emphasis on materialism, technology, competition, all that, has created a disconnect from our true nature.
So it's not just about physical pollution then, but also about the mental and emotional stress that comes with modern life.
Exactly. Unarius challenges us to reevaluate our priorities, reconnect with our inner selves, and find a more balanced and harmonious way of living.
Like hitting a reset button on our priorities and remembering what truly matters.
Yes, and this all ties back to that concept of psychic liberation we were talking about earlier.
Right.
It's about freeing ourselves from the limitations of our thinking, those negative patterns and beliefs that hold us back, and those societal pressures that can keep us trapped in these cycles of stress and even disease.
Unarius seems to be placing a lot of emphasis on personal responsibility, like taking ownership of our thoughts, emotions, and ultimately our lives.
Absolutely. They believe that by understanding the nature of energy and consciousness and by aligning ourselves with the higher forces of the universe, we can create a more fulfilling and harmonious existence.
Okay, so let's talk about those higher forces then. The lesson mentioned something about mediumship as a way of understanding and transmitting those higher teachings. What does that mean in the context of Unarius?
Well, Unarius definitely acknowledges and incorporates figures and concepts from various spiritual traditions, like they even refer to Edgar Cayce.
Oh, the sleeping prophet.
Yes, as an example of someone who used mediumship to access higher knowledge and wisdom.
So they're open to the idea that there are many paths to truth. and that wisdom can come from all sorts of unexpected sources.
Exactly. They really emphasize the importance of being open-minded and willing to explore different perspectives. It's a call to break free from the limitations of dogma and embrace a more inclusive and universal approach to spirituality.
They seem to be encouraging us to think for ourselves, explore different ideas, and find what resonates with us personally.
Absolutely. And then there's that incredibly intriguing concept of Shambhala that we touched upon earlier.
Right, that higher dimensional realm.
Yeah, where those advanced spiritual beings reside, guiding humanity's evolution.
So we talked about its significance in the overall infinite concept, but what else does the lesson say about Shambhala?
Well, Unarius teaches that Shambhala is the source of this incredibly advanced knowledge and wisdom. It's depicted as a place of pure consciousness and immense spiritual power.
Wow, sounds like a pretty amazing place. So how do we connect with Shambhala? How do we access this higher realm?
The lesson suggests that by purifying our thoughts, emotions, and actions, we can raise our vibration and become more receptive to the guidance and wisdom that emanates from Shambhala. It's about aligning ourselves with those higher forces of the universe.
So it's not about physically traveling to Shambhala, but about aligning our inner selves with this frequency.
Exactly. And to do that, Unarius really emphasizes the importance of understanding and working with our own energy systems.
What do they say about our energy systems? What do we need to know?
They teach that our physical bodies are composed of these intricate energy systems that influence our thoughts, emotions, our overall well-being, the whole thing.
Right.
By learning to work with these energies, we can achieve greater health, vitality, and spiritual awareness.
So it's like we have this whole hidden energy system that we're not even aware of. And by understanding it, we can unlock a whole new level of well-being.
That's the idea. The lesson actually goes into detail about things like psychic structures and vortexes within our energy systems. They believe that by understanding these structures, we can tap into a greater flow of spiritual energy.
So it's like we have an instruction manual for our own energy bodies. This is getting pretty mind-blowing.
It is, and the lesson even talks about the concept of obsessions.
Obsessions.
Yeah, they suggest that negative energies and entities can actually attach themselves to our psychic fields, and that can cause all sorts of problems in our lives.
So they're not just talking about psychological obsessions, but also about energetic influences from, like, external sources.
Exactly. And they propose that by understanding the nature of these entities and employing certain techniques, we can clear our energy fields and restore balance and harmony.
It's like having a cosmic toolkit for psychic self-defense.
Haha, kind of. Unarius also places great importance on spiritual healing.
Okay.
They suggest that by connecting with our higher selves and aligning with the healing forces of the universe, we can overcome even the most challenging health issues.
It's a reminder that true healing encompasses not just the physical body, but also the mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of ourselves.
It's a holistic approach to healthcare, recognizing the interconnectedness of all aspects of our being. Man, this lesson is packed with so much information. It's incredible.
It really is. It's amazing how they cover so many different topics and concepts, all woven together in this intricate tapestry of ideas.
It really speaks to the depth and breadth of their teachings. They offer a truly unique perspective on, well, life, the universe, everything.
This lesson is definitely a mind expander. We've covered a lot of ground. Let's take a moment to absorb all this incredible information before we wrap up our deep dives into the infinite concept of cosmic creation and explore some of the key takeaways. Welcome back to the deep dive. I don't know about you, but my head's still spinning from all this incredible info about Unarius and their infinite concept of cosmic creation.
It is a lot to take in, yeah. But, one thing that really strikes me about this whole lesson is just how optimistic it is. Like, even though they're talking about a world that's in a state of intense change and upheaval and all that, it doesn't feel all doom and gloom,
Right, yeah. It's not just pointing fingers at problems, it's really empowering us to be part of the solution. And speaking of empowerment, there's a huge emphasis on personal responsibility in this lesson.
Oh, absolutely. Unarius is really clear about that. It's not enough to just sit around and wait for someone else to fix things.
Right.
We each have to take an active role in our own evolution and in the evolution of humanity as a whole. It's all about understanding and working with our own energy and consciousness to create positive change.
It's like they're saying, be the change you want to see in the universe.
Exactly. And remember that whole concept of past lives we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Unarius teaches that understanding our past lives isn't just, some fun exercise in curiosity.
Right.
It's a way to understand how those experiences, those choices we made in past lives are shaping who we are today.
So our current challenges, even our strengths and talents, could have roots in events and choices from our previous incarnations.
Exactly. It's a pretty powerful concept when you think about it. And by understanding those patterns and, the karma we've accumulated along the way, we can make more conscious choices in this life, break free from negative cycles, step into a more empowered and fulfilling way of being.
Yeah, I love that. It's not about blame or anything like that. It's about
Right.
understanding. It's about growth.
Mhm.
And ultimately, it's about taking responsibility for our own journey.
100%. Another thing that's really stood out to me throughout this whole deep dive is this idea of interconnectedness that Unarius keeps emphasizing.
Absolutely.
Like, we're not just these isolated beings on our own little individual journeys. We're all connected. We all influence each other. And our actions, they have these ripple effects that impact the entire web of life.
We really are all in this together, aren't we?
We are. And it goes beyond just our connections with other humans, too. Remember, the lesson talks about these advanced spiritual beings,
Mhm.
those teachers and guides who are working from higher dimensions to support humanity's evolution.
Right, yeah. It's kind of a mind-blowing concept.
It is, but it's also kind of comforting, isn't it, to think that we're not alone in this crazy cosmic journey?
It is. It's like having a team of cosmic cheerleaders rooting for us from the sidelines, offering guidance and support, even if you're not consciously aware of it.
I love that. Cosmic cheerleaders. That's a great way to put it. And the lesson even suggests that there's a greater purpose behind all the chaos and upheaval we see in the world today. Like, there's this higher intelligence that's orchestrating events, guiding us towards some greater good that we may not fully grasp right now.
Hmm. So even when things feel really uncertain, we can trust that we're part of a larger evolutionary process that's unfolding.
Exactly. Unarius offers a framework for understanding the bigger picture, for seeing the events of our lives, both individually and collectively, as part of a larger, purposeful movement.
It's a perspective that can offer a lot of hope and comfort, especially in challenging times.
Absolutely. And then there's that whole idea about bridging the gap between science and spirituality. Unarius is pretty clear that a holistic understanding of life requires integrating both the empirical observations of science and the profound insights of spiritual traditions.
It's about recognizing that both science and spirituality have valuable pieces of the puzzle. We need both the objective, analytical mind of the scientist and the intuitive, mystical heart of the spiritual seeker to really grasp those deeper mysteries of existence.
Exactly. It's about expanding our thinking and embracing a more inclusive and expansive view of reality. So if we were to distill everything we've learned about this infinite concept of cosmic creation into a few key takeaways, what would you say are the most important messages?
Okay, let's see. Well, first and foremost, Unarius reminds us that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. We're not just our physical bodies. We're souls on a journey of evolution and growth.
Absolutely. It's about remembering our true nature and that incredible potential that lies within each of us. What else?
Well, we have the power to create our own reality through our thoughts, emotions, and actions. We're not just victims of circumstance. We're active participants in shaping our lives and the world around us.
Yes. It's about taking responsibility for our energy, our choices, all of it.
And Unarius really emphasizes the interconnectedness of all things. We're all connected to each other, to all living beings, to the cosmos as a whole. Our actions have ripple effects that go far beyond what we can even imagine.
That's so important to remember. It's a powerful reminder to be mindful of our thoughts, our actions, the impact we have on the world around us. Anything else?
One last thing. Unarius offers a message of hope and empowerment. Despite all the challenges we face, they believe that we have the potential to overcome them and create a more harmonious and fulfilling future for ourselves and for generations to come.
It's a beautiful message, isn't it? One that encourages us to step into our power and embrace our role as co-creators of a brighter future.
Absolutely. Well, this deep dive into Unarius has been a truly fascinating exploration. I hope it sparked some new ideas and insights for our listeners.
Me too. And if you're feeling inspired to learn more, I encourage you to do your own research, see what resonates with you on your own personal journey of self-discovery.
Yeah. Keep exploring, keep questioning, keep expanding your understanding of this incredible, mysterious, ever-evolving universe we call home.
Couldn't said it better myself.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time.